if you're a real estate agent, chasing virality on social media is an absolute waste of time. So if you want more clients in your life, in this video, I will show you exactly what you should be doing instead. So the main reason to why you should not be chasing virality, you should be chasing clients instead, and why the current strategy you're probably using is not getting you the results you want, is because most real estate agents are chasing the wrong thing. So as you can see here, we're chasing the views, we're trying to go viral, we're trying to chase random followers. Because the problem is, if we're using a strategy that is used by most influencers, we're dancing on TikTok, we're trying to slap someone in the face to get views, or we're trying to approach someone on the street, and we're doing something that is trying to get as many eyeballs as possible. We're not attracting the right people that you want in your life, which is you want to have more potential clients seeing your stuff, so more people know about you, and in the end more people is going to reach out to you when it's time for them to sell or buy a property. So this is the biggest problem, and the reason to why this is a trap is because if you really think about it, because I would not brag here and sit that I'm saying that I'm an expert at this topic, but I have spent hundreds of hours analyzing the best in the world, and I do believe that I know a lot on this topic. And so why this is a trap is because we're looking at what most people that we look up to on social media are doing and trying to replicate what they are doing. So a lot of people, including myself, I have people that I follow on social media. I find them very inspiring. They have 100,000 of followers. So I follow them for entertainment and inspiration. And I know that a lot of you watching this right now, you have a few people, maybe they're women, there are men in your life that you're watching and looking up to and taking inspiration from. It might be travel accounts, whatever. So the thing with those people is that they have, in general, they have a lot of followers, a lot of views, but they are selling a product that's not something that you sell. So generally speaking, they're selling low ticket, and you're selling something that is very high ticket. So they're, generally speaking, they're using a strategy where it's more focused on more eyeballs, which leads to more sales for them. They're selling cheap products, and they are targeting big audiences, and they have a lot of followers as well. So it's a smart move to be making. If you have a lot of followers, you could be selling skincare products, cosmetics, whatever. So I know that you probably understand what I mean, and you have a lot of people that you're following that are doing this exact thing. So for most of you right now, you understand that, okay, I understand that they're using a strategy that they're trying to go viral, because that in return helps them sell more products that is low ticket. And as I said, and I hinted a little bit about before, like your service as a real estate agent is completely different. So you gotta understand that you're selling something that is high ticket, because the fee you're charging when you're selling or buying, depending on what kind of country you operate in and what type of agent you are, we have high ticket. So we have fees that are in the thousands of dollars, which means that we're not selling something that is a low ticket. So that's why we gotta have a strategy that's better for what we're selling. And so that's why we gotta understand that instead of going viral, we have to really understand that, okay, we're selling a product that is more expensive, we have more potential, we have less potential clients, which means that fewer better people matter a lot more, because we want to build a lot of trust with those people, and we want to give a lot of value to them as well. Because the real goal here is that we don't want to chase views, we want to chase the right people. Like, this is so important. So you gotta start to understand that, okay, what are we really trying to achieve here? We don't wanna, because to go back to the example that I find to be very funny is that if you're dancing on TikTok and making videos like that, what people are you going to attract in the end? Well, you're probably going to attract younger people that are not owning a home, and they find what you're doing is very entertaining, so they're coming back for more. So they just want to be entertained. So you're really attracting a bunch of people that is going to bring you $0 in your bank account. So that's why that's very bad. So what you want to do, you want to chase your potential clients. You want to make sure that when the time is right, you're top of mind in their head, and you want to make sure that you build the right trust beforehand. And I really like this because I just felt that the simplest thing I can do is try to in a way compare these two camps, because the way I see this is that social media, if you're seeing it as a business tool, with that's something at least I'm helping trying you to do, to unlock these new glasses so you see social media in a different way. And if you do so, there are two big buckets. So first of all, you have one to the left, which is virality. So this is a bucket that most people are familiar with, at least if you have spent a few hours and years on social media. And this is the camp that I talked about before. It's influencers, it's big accounts, millions of followers, a lot of views, a lot of reach, a lot of impact. But what it really is that, random people, and they get low conversions. Because if you really look at it, let's say that, an influencer posts like a skincare product post. Let's say that one gets 100,000 views. Maybe they get 100 sales from that. I don't know the math, 100, 300 sales from that. So if you really look at the big number that they're reaching, it's still kind of low conversion if you look at the percentage. And now we have the second bucket, which is the one you should be operating in. If you're a real estate agent, you're selling something that is very high ticket. If that is your world and the way you're living, you want to more, target the right people. And I call it for clients rather than, chasing for virality. We're optimizing for getting clients. So you want to attract the right people. In general, we really want to have smaller audiences, because what it will lead to in the end is that you will have a high conversion of those people. And I just wanted to really give you a good example here, is that honestly, like, being in the right camp is so much better, because if you're viral and you have millions of followers, like if you walk down the street, people is going to notice you. You're going to take, they want to take pictures. You're quote unquote famous, but it doesn't bring you any money in the end. So it's much better to be in the right bucket, where you earn a lot of money when you walk down the street. You have privacy. So I think that's one to be aware of as well. That the right camp is where you make money, your life is amazing, and you're really using social media in the right way. And I think this was something that is very interesting as well. And I talked about it on LinkedIn before. And if you really look at it, like, which audience would you rather have? So you have this one here, which is, 100,000 wrong followers or 1,000 potential clients. Because the funny part is that if I would, make a poll on LinkedIn, for example, asking, I have 8,000 followers plus on LinkedIn. If I would ask, my audience, which is like 98% real estate agents, which one they would, rather have, if I just would, ask 100,000 followers or 1,000 followers. Absolute majority of people would probably choose the 100,000 followers one. But the problem is that if those are the wrong ones, it's absolutely useless. So if you ask me, every single day, I would rather have 1,000 followers. That is my potential clients. Like, imagine how freaking powerful it is if you have 1,000 followers and like 99% of them is your potential clients. And you're engaging with them, you're building a deep relationship with them every single week. So for each month, that year that goes, it just becomes more and more, deep and valuable. Like, I would pick that any day of the week. And I think by now you start to understand as well that that's the play we should be, or that's the game we should be playing. And as I said before, it's so important that we all, make this kind of like mindset shift from, I just love this one as well. 50 views from the right people is way better than having, 50,000 views from the wrong people. And just take me, for example. I've been making videos on YouTube for over a year. I'm still getting, 20 views, 50 views, etc. So that is not a lot of people. If you have the mindset of, the viral views, likes, kind of like bad circle to be in. But for me, I understand that, I would rather, go into a lecture and sitting in the classroom and me teaching something to 50 people than, having 50,000 people that is not even interested in what I'm doing. They don't even care about who I am. So I think this is a mindset shift that is very, very important. I've done it myself. And if you start to operate in this kind of way that, I'd rather have 20 people that are really interested in what I have to say, and I can provide something that is valuable for them, because over time, that is really where the magic happens. So what you should be doing instead is that, you should pick a niche. So rather than trying to aim for 50, 100, 200,000 million of followers, you should probably be really thinking about, I should probably have between 1,000 to 10,000 followers on the platform I'm picking, because like the riches are in the niches. So that's why the niche you're having is obviously making content for your potential clients. That's it. No travel things, no cooking things or dancing on social media. And the second part is you have to be consistent as well, because if you post for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, that is not really going to cut it. So you have to operate in a way where, okay, this is something that I'm going to do for the rest of my career as a real estate agent. I think that mindset is very important to be having. And this one we talked about before, pick one type of client. So the niche we're having is really, we're real estate agents, so we should be posting about things that is valuable for your potential clients. And the type of client you're chasing is, your potential client. So it's probably homeowners in the area where we operate. So this one is very simple in my eyes. And what you should be doing is that as well is really, talking about their biggest problems. Because if you really think about it, let's say that you have a problem. I don't know what it is. Maybe you want to lose weight, you want to be more fit, you want to make more money, or for example, a problem that I'm speaking to potential real estate agents out there is that you want to have more warm leads in your life. So I'm speaking to that problem. So imagine you have a problem, you have a person in your life that is helping you every single week to understand and help you to tackle this problem in the best possible way. Like, that's valuable. So that's the way you should go about for your potential clients as well. And the blueprint here is I would say that it's kind of simple, to be honest. Like, first of all, you have to stop, chasing virality, because that is going to make you miserable. It's going to make you very unhappy, and it's going to, really lead you into a life where you're chasing something that in the end, it's just a matter of time until you realize that, I've built an audience that is with the wrong people, and it's going to make me $0 in the bank account. And what you should be aiming for instead is chasing trust. So, fewer people, more deep connections, that is so much more powerful than trying to get a lot of, likes and views on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And if you look at the way social media is going, is that it's just absolutely getting flooded by so much crap, AI things, and people just posting. And I'm seeing what every single real estate agent is probably posting on LinkedIn, and it's not good. So the best way you could go about this is that not trying to go viral, rather make very good content for a few targeted people than just trying to make something that no one really likes. So you have to start to understand that you gotta make content for your potential clients, period. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You shouldn't make content for your grandma. You should not making content for your friends. You should be making content for your potential clients, because that is what's going to give you money in the end. And as a really good frame to look at this is like, you should be aiming for building a movement, not random attention. And what's the result? So let's say, everything I'm sitting here, like what I'm saying, if you think that sounds very good, or rather say very smart things, what's the result then? So if you do this, if you apply this and have this kind of mindset, what happens? Because in the end, if everything I'm saying here wouldn't get you these results, it will be worthless or useless. So you will get more money in the bank. You will get better leads over time. Your hit rate will go up as well. And in the end, you will have a very, very good audience. So this is very powerful. And the final message that I really wanted to give you as well before we leave here is that if there's one thing that I want you to think of when you go on with your life and do what you usually do after you watch this video, is that you should really try to chase trust from the right people rather than, you know, chasing attention from everyone else. Because this is really the game, and that's why I'm going all in. I'm sitting here, I'm recording one, you know, freaking video every single week, because I just believe in this so freaking much, and I just know that, you know, for the coming years, the agents who operate in this way and are really using the power of social media and seeing it as a business tool, like, they're going to crush everyone else. They're going to be the best agents. They're going to, you know, make the most money, work in less time, and having an amazing life. So it's just so important. So, you know, don't try to dance on TikTok. You don't want to be famous. You don't want to be an influencer. You just want to target the right people so you can get more warm leads in your life, and you can make more money in the end and being more successful as a real estate agent. And now don't forget to watch this video, because I'm talking about something very, very important. And that is how you as a real estate agent can use AI to get more warm leads in your life when you're making content. So you're not burning out, you're saving a lot of hours every single week, so you can spend time on the things that you really enjoy doing.